Hey, this is ApostleRietasMinistries, aka Therapist Yakagaza, a woman after God's own heart. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe button and the notification button. And I promise you, your life will never be the same. Yes, we are new in the streets of YouTube, but why not? We are cruising. We are in. So today I just want us to come out of the nutshell. We are going out of the comfortable zone. Okay, normally in this channel we usher you towards your destiny and your purpose. This channel is all about restoration and knowing God's divine purpose upon your life. But today I just want us to come out of the nutshell, because wow, before somebody can be a child of God, you know, we are all people of God. And then Christ comes, we accept him, and then we become children of God. So yes, before I am a woman of God, I'm a person, I'm a human being. I once did this and that, you know. So yes, we are coming out of the nutshell. Battle up. So yes, today is all about relationships and gender-based violence. Abused victims, of which I once was. This is what happened. You know, I was this pretty young girl growing up in an area called Guyani. So I met the love of my life. No, I'm talking about then. I just want you to picture yourself. You put yourself in a situation as I'll be narrating this. Yeah, so here is this young lady, a pretty lady, you know, who was consumed by love. Okay, I met this guy who proposed me and we were in a relationship. Everything started quite well. So we were blending. He was like the lover of my life. He was the love of my life. You know, those teenage days whereby you are still pure, you are still yeah, you get me. So energetic and all that. So yeah, I was consumed by love. I believe and I know for a fact that the guy loved me. Guy andranza shinene. So what happened is the problem, you know, when we are growing up, we tend to have this mentality, you know, babanona labanga kahle, or guys who have it. It's those guys, you know, no nonsense kind of guys, laba ukumakuku waba and all that. So you know, I also grew up na mentality nyana yale ya kulaba bafana laba yaba ku. It's a no nonsense kind of a guy. So okay, what happened is we were so in love, things were okay in the beginning, and then I remember he would slap me in the midst of an argument, but trust me when I say he was a nice guy, he was a good guy, you know, in character. When he's not intoxicated or under the influence of alcohol, he was this guy that every young girl would dream of. I remember he didn't like keeping me busy wherever we had rented at the time, where he had rented. Yeah. So he would clean, he would do all the laundry, including my laundry as well. He would cook for me. He was a hustler and a hard worker. That's one thing that I loved about him. And I think that it is something that made me to grow fond of him. You know, he became this rescuer. He became a hero. You know what I'm talking about. So yes, he was a hustler. He was a kind of a guy who would go out there and say, baby one, Tamalandrini, I'm going out and I'm going to work for Minana Wena. So you know, he would hustle his way out, a hustler, and he will come back. And then you know, I weekend. I remember Thursday, it is Sheila's day. So we'd go out, looking all nice, smelling all nice. You know, going out to play with other kids. Remember, I'm talking about the person who was in her teenage. We were both in our teenage age, yet he was a bit older than me, but not that much older. Yeah, so we're compatible. Like, I blah blah language, I don't know. So, okay, fine. Then I got the actual reason why I'm doing this video, because I know that a lot of young ladies and, you know, grown-ups as well, they are going through the same thing. So back then, I used to be this girl, okay, back at home, angarina relationship ya kahle na batswari. I just had no relationship with my siblings who were never close, you know. We were not the kind of a people or siblings about relationship stuff. Or my older sister, yeah, she's pretty older than me, so you know, I respected her in a way. Boyfriend na same applies to Siswami, and then there's somebody else, the last born of the house. Yes, that one knew about my whereabouts. So basically what happened, akaya angakuranzi. I resented home. I felt like akaya akukufumile. I felt like I could not express the feelings tamina akabatswari vamina without them being judgmental kumbe bakwata and so on. So home basically riviye akamina hi nkarhi walowo ri hundzuka ku nga ri kaya ra kahle, ni nga rhandzi, ni nga ku rhandzi akaya at all. So okay, fine. Here am I, ni hlangana na this guy, one rhandza, this guy is a hustler, uni endla no trusta na yena one trusta, like we do things together. I can express myself loko ntsakini na loko ni nga tsakanga without the fear of being judged, right? Then we moved in together. I decided nitwa ingaku kutshama na yena, like shini rescuing from akaya and all that. Some of you, I know that you will relate. So what basically was happening is I hanya vutomi byejo. I remember nzame kuya xikolweni na another TVET yinga kona kwale kaya, and then like we would fight, we would constantly have fights, more especially loko anwini. Loko anwini, he became a monster. He became somebody else. Always, it was always the case. It was very rare go aba under the influence, kumbeba under the influence, and then she end up akahle. It would always end in tears. So okay, fine. At some point, I was bound to quit because I would say, hey, when I was Jola, you are cheating and all that. I don't like this and that. So because, you know, I was consumed by love. Like, I really loved my man. This is somebody whom I didn't want to lose. This is somebody who gave me a shelter. This is somebody that I felt so safe in. So, okay, fine. So it started when we had arguments, atani by mpama or timpama, maybe 2, 3, and I would cry. I would not retaliate. Like, my elder brother was not staying with us. So in the household, and swakulwa hi mavoko na yini na yini na yini. No, I was that kind of a person. Ya ku ni le kaya loko ni vavisekini kumbe yini, I used to bottle things out. Sometimes I would cry kuma ku ni tshama a ni ri munhu wo rila, ni rila, but I would not show hi lwa hi mavoko na yini na yini na yini. It was not a ku nga ri swilo swa hina. Okay, fine. So you know, loko munhu se u n'wi tshemba, u n'wi trusta swinene, you tell them everything. So he knew about my then state at home. He knew relationship ya mina na vatswari va mina yi njhani, ku humelela yini, my siblings ku humelela yini and all that. So he basically, I was naked before him, a tiva swilo hinkwaswo. So what happened is, sweswiyani swi sungula hi timpamampama na yini, and I would cry and all that, and then the next morning he would say, no man, you know what, Rita, leswi na leswi u nga endla swi vona hi wena u ndlaku ku ndzeni ku ba, I don't want to hit you, but I end up beating you up because u ndla leswi na leswi. Okay, fine. Then he would maybe aniketa 100 rand, let's go and get something, let's go and get drinks. By then, hey, ativuya, you know, with this couple, they are compatible, I wild, wild in a form ya ku we are outgoing, vanhu va ku loko hi ri tindzawini hi ta cina, rirhandzu ra hina, everybody knew, you know, he was mine and I was his. Like I ri vanhu lavayani, and affection I komba hinkwako, like, you know, couple liyani, you know, that kind of a couple leyi kumaka ku munhu un'wana na un'wanyani, or any other young girl or young boy out there would be a bit jealous hi yona, kumbexana a ku ish, I wish I can get myself a boyfriend or girlfriend like that one. So yeah, I ran vajuli. But then the problem would always be local hinwin. So like I stated, the Thursdays, it was Sheila's day. We'll go out there, have drinks, and then, you know, Thursday, and then we'd go home. But then Friday, that's when, you know, would be extreme. Let me use this term because that's basically it. So we'd drink, so, you know, I was this kind of a girl whereby I was jealousy very much. I not jealous. I loved him so much. Like, because remember, this guy uninike a shelter. Nina ndhawu leyi ni tlelaka ka yona, nina ndhawu leyi ni tlelaku ni nga ha vileli, ni nga ha hleketi hi swe le kaya, ni nga ha vileli ku humelela yini and all that. So okay, fine. Now I don't want to lose this guy for anybody or for anything. So anything that actually ending up threaten, or I would tell him, no man, my love, there's just so and she love and all that. This is but the minute he gets intoxicated, and I mean intoxicated, ila se shifika ku shibiya kona, well hi ta cina hi tlanga wherever we are, and then but then look, we fanekele hi vuya. And you know, this guy, he was a gentleman who would never lay his hand upon me or in public or embarrass me and like in public and like the same way when he was not intoxicated or under the influence. So he was just that guy. But then akubana problem yaku, okay fine, we'll be walking back home and then itasungula an argument whereby I will say, yeah, you told me kushisha sona so awusha ranzi yini, and basically we will exchange words before I know it, clap waba. You know, one thing that I'm grateful for, I did gin stamina and can some money. Shout out to my mom and dad. I share all the scars that I have. Later at the extreme, they were caused by a car accident. Learning about involved otherwise, antaban were talking more, especially because he used to hit me and bite and then it escalated to a point atani bana the face and all that. I would cry. I mean, I'm a young girl, this pretty girl, vulnerable and all that. So I'm not real, basically not real. And then the following day, sometimes he would not even apologize. Okay, go and get this for yourself. Let's go in. So it became part of our life. The problem was, it's like I would picture my situation at home and then compare it with the situation yala hingakona ithamaka kona na boyfriend I mean, and I would like, no girl, you are not going back home, because home is hell. You will be depressed there, you will end up committing suicide. So here at least you are celebrated. There's that 10% or 30% time, like, you know, just trying to give you a clear example. Yaku, you are celebrated, you get to be happy and all that. So don't go there in Akaya. To tell you the truth, Akaya, I never grew up in a poor family. Ningaba nehemba loko nukukumbeshana Akaya, nibe na boyfriend or ni tama na boyfriend because Akaya akungari na shakudya. No, my parents could afford to buy food for us, proper clothes for us, bayisa ashkolweni kahle. So kwaleno akungari problem. The only problem ayiri ngopfu aka whatever that was happening aka family yaka hina, and anitwa swini affecta swinene, swini vavisa swinene. Plus psychologically, as a young child, as a young girl, I went through a lot, but swin'wanyana ta swikuma aka tipart tin'wanyana mara not aka video leyiwa. So this one lava ku hi concentrate ngopfu aka yona aka mhaka ya gender based violence, relationships and gender based violence. So you know, home was a no. Loko ani ba loko ni rila, well ani aka mina akuta ku swivona ku isiwana, God created you to suffer. That's what would always come into my mind, to say, you see, you don't even have a home, you don't even have a proper home. Like Satan would bring those ideas. You don't even have anyone to talk to and all that, because one, akaya, because of the lifestyle that I'm living, it's Iva Ingaku, you know, that one is a rebellious child. And yes, of which I became very rebellious. I became very rebellious. But you know, my actions would show akaya and kulabe, and I'm not gonna listen, I'm not gonna tolerate. And you know, I was preaching whilst quiet. And I remember sometimes my mom would get very so much upset, and she was right, because I would never raise my voice to my mom or to my dad. No. And that time 2 minutes LA, and then when it's time for me to leave, I would leave nifamba without thinking. Then I so my little sister knew very much. They were the last bond in Jan. Itona ifika kuhlekelela mhlekelela kwaleni imizelo kona Rita kumbexana ababyela. I believe sometimes ababyela ku ulwana abantu kada kwini swikuyini mara sweswo swi te aka the later stages. So what happened? I ended up aka relationship yaleyo ni tsutsuma ni hambana na boti loyiwani. I didn't even tell him, you know what, ana ku rhandza. So endla ingaku ni ya akaya, loko ni ya akaya nakona I could not, ani nga swi koti ku tshama because of the situation leyi mina a yi ri xiswona for me. So what happened is masiku mahlweni, so to say, loko se ni tava ni sukile aka yena, I fell in love. Ngaku it was not even about love, to be honest. Ni hlangana na un'wanyana mfana, and like akuna ku rhandza and all that. I am working, this is how he introduced himself, lando border anomikona and all that. Okay, fine. Even why not? Because akaya, I cannot stand at home, and naleni ni ka munhu loyi ni n'wi rhandzaka wa neighbor undla yini mina se ni karhele ni twa ku vava, se na tlula ke ni kuma un'wanyana. Yi teke nkarhi wo leha relationship ya hina with the other guy, and I believe you are no more getting that girl. Munhu waloye se u move on, and swi tikomba swi ri serious na yini. So I made sure ku na famba tindhawu ni nga vi munhu loyi a fambaka tindhawu ta mabyala or anywhere la ni hleketa ku maybe nga hlangana a hi kuma, because a ni chavela even the current guy. The way leswi a ni swi tiva ku loko swi fika aka ku ba mfana loyi a ba, mfana loyi a trapa, loko ni ku mfana loyi a trapa a ta ku bush twisisa ku u biweni timpama timbirhi tinharhu a ta twa nga ku be mfela. Okay, so well, here am I, ni kume another ndhawu ya ku tshama. You see, shelter again. I don't have to worry about home. I don't have my parents had, I remember bata sukurungwanyan van kumansame tafleni. Guys, I had always been lucky with baba nona laba bangana care ne indlela yaku van kumensame. I remember papa bafike bapfula rivande van kumansame a henhla ka tafula a kitchenini le ku tsotseni with the guy, and then yena u le ku swekeni and papa va ku shame. You know, my dad is something else. Va ku nono go le ku swekeni sati it's hamin muki kaya, and then, you know, I was polite to say to them, okay, I will come back in tavu and tavu. Muki kaya. So well, famba na bona. Look, on famba na bona, we went back home. And samangi 2 days, I went back again. But at least this time, they knew kundekanza uyukari ayirikusuhan nilikaya. So then, you know, you become tolerant. Ukumendawo a safe space. And all that, like situation le anirna ka yona ka boyfriend le yingwanyana ile ishiswana tukuma kunir ka yona. But the only difference, this one would not lay a hand on you. Angari munhu wa ku uta ku ba, like akuri vanhu lava va ku tinyoka hansi. Ange he's very down to earth, respect, so wa hlonipheka and all that. It's only loko kumbe o snapa nyana mara na loko o snapa kwato to vona matihlo ku la siku leri ni nga ta khomiwa ntombi ntsemiwa kunene, but a nga ri munhu wa rigombo. So okay, fine. Leswiyani a famba, loko hi famba aka relationship yaleyo, even then xikwembu xa ni katekisa yin'wana, a handsome young man, very respectable and humbled as well. Ivi loko xi ni katekisa yin'wana ni swi twa ubankari u swi twa nkama wun'wanyana ku, you know what, my relationship leyi ni nge le ka yona it's a yini enetisi, because okay fine, financially wa swi kota ku ni endlela leswi na leswi, we can relate aka swin'wana na swin'wana, but mbilu yi lava ku yi lava le ndzhaku leyi. Okay fine, ni swi tshika ni continue. And then I went home loko se ni ta va ni kume n'wana. Loko ni kume n'wana mugayi, that previous one, the boxer, wa ta sungula ku gidela kaya, and I'm very much need to win because phela se na n'wana need to win ata. And then I would attend to him and he would say, you know what, please forgive me. He would cry, please forgive me. And I was like, what manner of love is this? Se ku humelela yini? Why ni rileriwa ku ri ku mina I'm the one loyi anga, like apparently ngisukele ni nga n'wi byela ku ana n'wi lavi no n'wi baleka hi ku chava ku biwa. And then here am I after years na n'wana na yini. And you know he said what? He said, I know that I'm the reason why unitsutsumini. I didn't expect ku wena u faneke u yimela mina. I know. So don't even worry, n'wana na n'wi amukela, and ni ta n'wi amukela as my own because I'm the one who pushed you away. So u swi vurini sweswo. And you know what, because rirhandzu that thing wa yi tiva yi ku dlikidliki, a wa ha hleketi na leswo tala. And I said, why not? Phela xo sungula, I love this guy, like the love is natural, a hi lero fosteriwa. Say why? And wa swi vona ku yena o endle mistake, this must be a changed guy. Guess what, ni vuyelelana na yena. He was a good guy, you know, in character, as I stated before. He loved my son as well loved him. Loko va hlangana, whenever I would go and visit my son, nteka n'wana wa mina, and things were good. A va kota ku relate, a nga ni kombi yini. I was free to talk about my son, hambi loko n'wana wa mina a nga ri na hina. So yi va relationship yaleyo. Little did I know this time around aka relationship ni ta twa ingaku ni yo tshama hi makala, ni tshama switshamo leswi tshama wa swisanyana. Oh fine, hi vanhu lava ya vhele va ku ha ti hlambela, muti wun'wana na wun'wana na ti-rules ta wona. Thursday, Friday ya ku ti grooveleni, ka ciniwa. Love is in the air, hi phakati inside ka rirhandzu. We are rolling. So kwaleno se ku sungula yini, he wins my trust back, I win his back. Se ha rhandzana hi vanhu lava va ku vhele, you know, ha vulavula hinkwaswo as soulmates do. Ingaku ma twins, a swi endla ingaku hi tshame a xivelekelweni xa munhu wun'we. And you know, vutomi byi kahle. but then I phase, it's a phase ya honeymoon yaleyo phela, mahawinana, the trust, respect ikona na yini, marandzana hi famba swin'we, ha khomelana tifoni na yini, a ku na problem, everything is fine. Ivi swi sungula se ku hunde n'hweti, ku hundza tin'hweti timbirhi, loko se swi ya swi karhi swi ya, that thing ya vuya. Loko no endla mistake kumbe ni nga vulavulangi kahle, I don't even know if vele ni va ni endle mistake, because ku vulavula ntiyiso, I was never cheating for that guy. Loko ndzi ni va ni ri na mfana luyani a ku ri he was my soulmate, he was my soulmate, he was definitely. So loko no ze ni endla mistake kumbe ni vulavula ni nga vulavuli kahle loko hi nwini, timpama a ti tata, and this time a ta ni ba ni swi twa ku hayi kho ingaku ti davurini timpama, ingaku se mavoko se ya vekeriwa tinsimbi, a ta ni ba hi mpama xi nga ri kahle, a ta ni ba ni rila, swi va hi ndlela yaleyo. Sometimes a ni rahetela, ku ni rahetela loko hi ri ndlwini. You know, he was very wise, he was a gentleman. A nge ku bi xikarhi ka vanhu, a nge ti onheli portfolio, a nge ti onheli vito hi ku ba wena, hi ku kandziya xikarhi ka vanhu. But I'm telling you, loko mi fika a xinyamini, loko hi kha hi muka, u ta swi twa ku ya i ta biwa, loko i biwa na loko i fika ndlwini i biwa, i tlela hi ku rila nampundu. He knows, you know musi ku ri weakness ya n'wansati yini, ching a ta nyika mali nkarhi walowo 100 rand a yi tele ngopfu, hi swo a wu ta xava ti-drinks, i xava na a yi tele ngopfu. So well, a ta ndla sweswo and then swi herini, vutomi byi ya mahlweni, a hi nga ri vanhu va ku hi ta tengatenga hi vulavula hi ku yini. So swi fika laha my little sister knew vele ku ku humelela yini, ku ndleka yini, but then there was not much they could do. A xi twisisa na xona ku a sesi vele marhandzwini, a ku na plani yin'wana, a ku na ndlela yin'wanyana, o va marhandzwini. And she also loved my boyfriend because in character, like he was bubbly. That guy was something else. He was fun. A ri kahle, a ri nandi. The only problem xivunga a xi pfuka loko a nwini. So okay, fast forward. Hi mina loyiwani toloverini, se wa tolovela na loko u nga biwangi, you feel like no, this guy might be cheating on you. When it passes maybe a weekend whereby he does not lay his hand upon me, doesn't varamisa me, anphakamisanyana at the club, you know, unsane inside, you would feel empty, you would feel lonely and sad to say, why anga hanidi, swi vula ku anga ni rhandzi, why vhiki leri ni nga biwangi, swi vula ku ri rhandzu ra yena. So basically u va ka channel yaleyo, amhleketweni, in your mind it's like swi va swi registerini ku, you know what, wena wa biwa because he loves you, because those were the words that he would use sometimes. You know what, babe, I love you so much. And he would cry, a rila mfana luya. And you know ku vanhwanyana i njhani, ku rileriwa nhlotinyana wa mfana i vimbombomeli nghena phakati inside. So he would cry aka mina ku, you know what, baby, ritana ku rhandza mara problem, you do this and this. But one thing that I lied about him, mhaka ya n'wana ya ku hi ya ni kumela n'wana, ni tsutsumini, ingani, he would never. So I believe that his love towards my son was genuine. As loko ata ka mina, a vuye ka mina, a fika vulavula na mina, a apologize na yini, a stating ku, you know, n'wana wena ni n'wi amukela ku fana na wa mina, and well, he loved my son. Shit. So problem a ku va ya liya ya ku loko o ze a nwini a ta ni ba, se swi fika laha ni kumaka ku se no ni raha, wa ni raha, na rila tlhelela kaya, never, a ni kaya musila cheese na yi kuma na kona swa fana. Ene lani a ni biwe namuntlha ntsena, maybe ta ku Monday, Tuesday ni ta ze na biwa hi Thursday kumbe hi Sonto kumbe hi Saturday, mistake kwala ni nga ta fika ni endla kona. So that was part of my lifestyle. I got used to that lifestyle and I fell in love with it. Come to think about it, psychological, as nga riko right. So okay, fine. Then came a turning point. Xin'wana xin'wanyani xi na laha xi fika ku xi jika kona. Xin'wana xin'wanyani, you know, everything. Life rotates. Everything rotates. My life took a turn. A 360 degrees turn. Buckle up. So siku rin'wanyani ku kufana na masiku yan'wanyani I weekend mugayi, you know, he was from hustling, he had money and all that, gave me some of the money to say, you know what, girlfriend allowance. Okay, fine. I was so happy, and I knew good weekend it was going to be one hell of a weekend. It was good. So we bathed sasekini mbale shoot ya mina imbale swa yena then you know what, we went out. Ifika ijiva kwa diwa ka ciniwa ku tlangwa hey sikahle swinene man. Na vusiku utwa ingaku ko va na sathana ngele ku byi fast forward then ngele ku biseni ka watch hatla ai nana so siku rero we danced as usual tiphina na yini. Okay, fine, nkarhi wa ku hi ya kaya. So we decided go okay, leswi nga hi swona. That day he was intoxicated at that way, and so was I. So but then mina yini swi twa ku I ku tlela mina antwe burongo, because normally loko va pfala la a hi nwa kona would opt ku ya aka xin'wana xipotso la a hi swi tivaku ku ri ta ze rixa vusiku hinkwabyo, ri ta ze rixa vusiku hinkwabyo ta va ku ri busy ku ri ku nweni. So but that day he said baby, let's go home. Hi famba. Loko hi fika even ka yena ni kombela a hi humi ya xava ti-drinks le ka swimani. And he was like, you know what, I'm tired, mina ni karhele. Loko ri ku wena u karhalanga a tlakuka u ya xava. Na tlakuka ni tsakini futhi ni tele ni fike la a ni hleketi nchumu, a ni vonangi expression ya ku maybe a ni komba ku a nga tsakangi kumbe yini, because vele yena ku nga ri munhu wa ku like na loko a nga dakwa a nga ri munhu wa ku ta kwata yini munhu wa ku loko a nga dakwa ngwele ku ri na xin'wana xi nga n'wi tsakiseki. It would take time, but he will eventually tell you ku baby lexi u nga endli lexi njhani lexi a xi ni tsakisi. Hi ndlela yaleyo, he was a nice guy, cool guy, every girl's dream. So okay, fine. Now man famba I vusiku, it's in the middle of the night. Now man famba, loko ni famba u swi tiva mos loko u dakwini a wu chavi nchumu tlhela ni hlayela ni tibyela ku within 5 minutes time ni ta va ni vuyini. A ni bangi magoza ya 20 a ta karhi a tsutsuma hi le ndzhaku, u twa dimpama dandzilo di ni pfala matihlo, ni ba matihlo va ni dripa ni wela hansi a xikontiri lexa xa khale hayi lexa sweswiwa. Ni wela hansi a ni khoma hi milenge so, plus a ni larini swinene. A ku nola ku ba namuntlha wa delela wena, na ku ba masiku mara ni ku bi kahle a ni bisanisa, like he held my legs like this and I was upside down ivi a ni bisanisa na xikontiri hi xikandza. Then hi famba ni le ku rileni. That day I cried like a donkey. I cried my lungs out. I felt like it felt as if the world had swallowed me. The soil had opened up itself to swallow me. Leswo siku rero ni swi twisisa ku ya ni twa ku vava. I felt a strange heat ni nga swi tivi ku vava kwihi. Siku rero a ni biwini guys. Siku rero a ni bini. Loko ya fika ndlwini futhi a fika ku ti khakhakhanyana timpama ni swi twisisa ni rilini siku rero. And you know what, where we had rented there were people but they always minded their own business. You know what, a va swi tiva ku vanhu lavambirhi lavawa va rhandzana, and a va swi tiva ku vanhu lavawa ku nghena timhaka ta vona a va n'wi chava mind you. Loko a dakwini ya n'wi sunguli hi kwihi, i fike n'wi byela i ri mani wena. So a ni ta bisiwa sweswo, un'wana na un'wana a karhi a mindla business ya yena. Ni rileni siku rero, ni rila loko ni karhi ni rila. The turning point was u ya teka screwdriver because a tirha hi swona. A ku na ku vona ku hikwatini. That day I cried, ni hefemuteka. Mata ni sungula ku languta a kaya ni kuma ongeti a kaya ka hina ku yime sathani, ntani ya swi ndlisa ku yini. Ni languta ni sungula ku hleketa swo tala, kumbe xana loko a ni lo tshama kwaleni keni leni a ni ri kona ni tsutsumele kona yini. Swi tele swi ta hi xinkarhana hi vava xi ba hi mpama wun'wanyana le henhla ka mbedo nkarhi walowo. Iva ku na swi vona ku u kwatini. Siku rero a ni kwatini. Hi swo a ku nga ri leswiya swa masiku ni rila ku yini tiputaputa. Siku leri a ni kwatini, a ni swi tivi ku a ni kwatele mani. okay fine. I va nyika school driver ni le ku rileni a ku na ku vona ku u kwatini endla leswi u lavaka ku swi endla endla leswi, do whatever you think that you're gonna do. And then he gave me the screwdriver. Did I think twice? No. I took the screwdriver and stabbed him. Blood gushed out. Loko ngati yi huma, I was still crying. I continued crying. The pain in me. And then I was like, look, what did you do to me? What's wrong? And then it was the longest night. And then aya ba yang bandage. I don't know ku loko aya a xibedhlele a fika ku yini, but one thing that I know nkama wun'wana va ta ku byela ku loko u nga n'wi report munhu swi ku yini swi vula ku won't treat you. But then he came back, he continued swi va kahle. I remember there was this other time whereby my father bangata, it was during the day I put in shesho akurna the shop as well. So then my father said, let's go home. Even then I said, I'm not coming back home. But and I was like, no, I'm not coming back home. And then Papa we was 6 okay, fine. I believe the little sister. That's why I was even land. And then from that time, it was as if I underwent a certain or a strange initiation, because there was so much anger. Akurina this thing ashirinzen kamina like for the first time. It was as if something entered inside of me. And that thing is violent. That thing, it's a no-nonsense thing. That thing, I will kill you. You know, each time I would cry, you know, you get to think under those lines and all that. But after the stabbing, after I stabbed him with that screwdriver, which apparently is the one who handed it over to me, I'm telling you, I was on another level. I was never the same Rita. I was never the same. You know what? You would never touch me. So it has escalated now. Look, Aniba, say Aita suka. Look, Aniba, Aita suka. One thing about me was that loko ngati yinga se huma amirini wa yena, nyimpi ayingata hela, I would not back down. I would fight. Loko rina bodlela, I would take the bottle ne fire hands and stab him. Zokuma ngati. Hikona ayita tsikana. And he would go. So remember, yena loko aniba anga no humesi nga humi swivati na siku leri anga ni nana no pfimba nyana nhloko leri ni nga bisanisiwa hi xikontiri na yini ni yo pfimba nhloko, mara a xikhomi swivati mina miri wa mina hi ndlela yaleyo. Anga ni bi mabodlela o yini kumbe swo ni gwazagwaza. A xi ba xisocha hi vava ya xi ta ku tirapa u swi twisisa ku i biwile kahle. So okay fine. Then swihamba swi va hi ndlela yaleyo. Loko hi huma hi famba hi ya ku cineni and all that, sometimes would tell me ku ni ta komba ni ku voneni kwa u langutane na manini, loko hi fika ndlwini ni ta komba. Immediately a ni byela sweswo. With me kwala ku nga na vanhu, I would ave ni lwa kumbe xana ni ku mpama, so that ku ta endleka yini loko ku ri ku ba a ni beli ni lava ku vanhu va swi vona kahle munhu loyi wa niba wa ni xanisa, because vanhu vo tala va nga swi tivi. And you know what, a tlharihini, he would hold me. Loko a swi vona ku hi le xikarhi ka vanhu, i ta ni khoma a ni phuxela le mara a nga ni bihi leswi a ni bisaka swona. And mind you, mina ni kwatini se ni tele, lava bodlela ni ta lava yini xexi ni nga ta xi kuma. I remember one day a ni tele a ni ye kaya ni ya jika kaya, and then vuyanyana late. And then loko a fika room mina kuma ku a ni kona, he was so angry loko a kwatini. And then mina loko ni fika room ni fika ni nga mu kumi, okay ni fambe ni ya le xipotsweni laha hi tshama kona hi mitapa kona, ivi loko a hi hungasa kona, so to say. Loko ni fika le ka ha ri nhlekani, like a ku ri vo ma 6, 7, 8 kwalaya, a ku ri na vanhu nyana, few people kwala ndzeni. and then uya avuya loko avuya anikuma kwalaya. So awuye ku wena yini started to shout at me. Loko ani shouta ku pfuka xilo lexiya se xa kwata nkhoma. Loko ni nkhoma, why are you shouting at me? A ku mpama nyana nga swi voni nyana la loko a ku ni thwama ri ku na lava va nga swi vona. Biya leta ti ri lala ri ku nweni ni rhwalela ni ka ni n'wi hoxa makarhi ma vhika so vanhu va huma va tsutsuma ya karhi wa vona ingaku feeling desperado vava. That's how things were. And then se swi nga ha tsakisi mara we loved each other. Loko swi herini hi va swin'we, and loko i la ku nghenelela swi ta ku vekela problem. So the problem was that mina loko ni lwa na yena a huma ti-scars, a huma ti-physical scars, they were visible, mara mina swa mina swi le ndzeni. Ene a nga talangi, remember loko swi sungula a nga ni beli xikarhi ka vanhu. So now people began to say swi vula ku loyi hi yena u xanisa mfana loyiwa, because ta yena ni vula ku ti-marks ta tikomba, swivati swa tikomba. Mara yena loko se hi vulavula hi lunghisa swilo after kulu a ta ku byela ku a ni ku blame. He would tell me ku a ni ku blame. I know sometimes it's so and twisisa na mina ku va karhi ku humelela yini na yini. But he later on told me a certain story. I will not talk about it because it's personal. Yeah, the way anga va na trauma yo karhi kona, say it was as if he grew up, even na yena he became that man. Lava va nga tlhariha va ta kota ku hatla va swi hlanganisa. So basically a ba n'wansati a ba, mara he was the nicest guy na yena. So na ha lava ku pfala nyana video leyiwani ha ri ka topic leyi. My plea to all parents, please create a safe space. Create a safe space for your kids, kungaba va xisati kungaba va xinuna, so that they know ku ri ku hanya it's not about ku hanya a handle. They get comfort, baba na that thing ya ku akaya ni kuma ku kufumela. I get comfort from home akaya, hambi loko ku ri ku boyfriend kumbe girlfriend yi nga ni endleli yini, I do get those things from my parents. Banranza na yini, I can vent out, I can cry to my parents, I can say anything lexi xi ni karataku without being judged. Mama kumbe papa will give me an ear to listen and a shoulder to lean on. Let us create that safe space. Van'wanyana a va humi va hetelela va huma hi mabokisi ka ti-relationship letiwa, because why? Loko a hleketa andzhaku, it's like no, I can't go back there. Loko ni tlhelela le ndzhaku, I'm not loved there, I'm not cherished, na jajiwa without anybody giving me an ear ku atwa ku i yini lexi xi ni vavisaku, i yini lexi ni karataku, va nga ni pfuna njhani na yini. So they opt ku swa antswa ni tshama kwaleno a swi na mhaka, for as long as nkama wun'wanyani ni pfa ni kuma swakudya, for as long as ni kume ndhawu yo tlela ku ni ba, I can take that, because let me tell you, trust me, ku biwa swa tolovela. So psychologically, was I okay? I was no longer okay. I was damaged goods. Was he psychologically okay? No, he was not. And in nchumu lowu nga va kona khale, but nobody noticed, va kota ku n'wi pfuna. So i swilo swo fana na sweswo. People don't just stay aka ti-relationships that are abusive because they want to stay. Van'wana it is because they are threatened. And wa chava because se u tshame nkarhi wo leha ka swona to say, should you say something aka vanhu vo karhi, kumbe loko wo huma, kumbe loko no twa ku hi loko ni ku dlela, and your person ku I capable ka swilo swo karhi. The person loyi tshamaku na yena, because munhu wa ku a kota ku ku ba, more especially lava va ku they wait to be intoxicated. Munhu waloye a nga ku dlaya, and then at the end of the day I was drunk or whatever leswi a nga ta vula swona. So let us create a safe space for vana va hina. Let us create a safe space for vana va xinuna to speak out about abuse, because abuse yi both ways, na vana va xinuna va va na yona. A hi tshame hansi hi vulavula. You can imagine ku a ni ri ka xiteyiti xa njhani. I stood a chance ya ku ka hina va ta nteka na vona hi bokisi, because people would say that as well. Van'wanyana, because there were those who were close to us lava na vona a va swi tiva ku na biwa, lava na vona a va biwa, and it was a norm, you know. Mi kuma ku mi ti couple leta ta ku mi ti chomi, sometimes mi nga mi kha mi famba mi ri 4 ivi couple liya yi sungula ku banana kumbe ku boha lowu wa xisati mi tolovela. So it was that kind of a thing. So mara famba kaya ava ta nteka ni ya kaya. I remember this one time yena ni n'wi hi lwini a ni ba and I took something no n'wi vavisa, maribyi yini xin'wana na xin'wana lexi a xi ri kusuhana a ni lwa hi xona. So even then va ka vona va ku hambana na munhu waloye, hambana na munhu waloye, hambana na munhu. He came to me a fika ku va ri u huma la rhumini famba yini, and mina I know ku ri mina hi mina ni nga wrong. Se lexi nga kona for the sake ya peace ni kombela u famba nyana ni ta ku landza. I was so angry, a ni kwatini, mara ni vuye ni famba. Loko ni famba, after a day or so he called me a ku vuya, why va faneke va nghena timhaka ta hina. So basically na yena you can see ku a hi munhu loyi nga ta ku psychologically right. Iva a nga ri right, ku va ku ri na swilo swo tala leswi nga le nhlokweni. Same applies to me. Hi vanhu lava hi need ku help, but it takes a certain level of grace ya ku vanhu lava va nga close kumbe vatswari va kota ku swi spota ku no man, this cannot be normal. You can imagine ku kumbexana loko a vo lo hi teka hi ri 2 va hi yisa aka counseling or therapy or whatever, and then hi kumeka ku pfuneka, hi open up about our outbringing na yini ti-frustrations leti hi nga na tona. Swi vula ku loko ku ri ku a ku ri muti a hi ta va hi ake muti wa kahle lowu se wu nga solid, swilo swi va kahle. But because Antiviku is in the black community that is so ignorant, like wana n'wana a hanya so na yini a swi na mhaka. You know, one thing about my mom, mina ku nga ri munhu wo vulavula ngopfu. A ku ri munhu wa ku siku leri va vulavulaka va ta vulavula swi ta tshama 30 years endzeni ka moya wa wena leswi va nga swi vulavula. Ku nga ri munhu wa ku ta tshama. But when she spoke, she made a mark. She made sure ku va vulavula va yinana. So you know that kind of a thing. So on the next video, I will tell you, should you have a family member that is going through the same, or if you're going through the same, or if you went through the same, the healing process, the restoration process, what do you need to do, what is needed to be done, and all that. Hit the subscribe button and the notification button. From me, Apostle Rita Mavasa, aka the therapist, Nerna Meranza. Shalom.